Welcome back to LEGO Battlebots Season 3. We've got a very interesting fight to kick off the second half of the final round of fight cards. Venomstrike versus Gigabyte. Two very differing designs. Gigabyte, of course, being a full-body spinner. Not the best full-body spinner by a long shot. Meanwhile, Venomstrike, also sitting at 2-1, both of us sitting at 2-1. Whoever wins this will make the tournament. The Venomstrike is a great control bot. It's proved to be pretty dang successful so far, but did get kind of humiliated his last fight against the Elementals. But its previous two opponents couldn't get underneath it. Gigabyte's not exactly going to be getting underneath Venomstrike anytime soon, so that could work to its advantage. However, Gigabyte does certainly have enough weapon power to rip off those fragile forks of Venomstrike. So can Venomstrike get the control it needs in the early portions of the fight, or will Gigabyte just do too much damage too early? Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, Gigabyte rips off two of the forks of Venomstrike already, and there goes the other two. Not a good start for Venomstrike here. No, Gigabyte does run self-disgrace, and there goes the tail of Venomstrike. This is turning out disastrous for Venomstrike in the first 20 seconds. Not a good start at all. Its defenses and its weapon are completely off of the bot, and now they are essentially a punching bag for Gigabyte. And sure, they can try to last it, but the damage has been done. Gigabyte just sending Venomstrike all around the arena. Not much friction between the chassis of Venomstrike and the floor. You can see it just spinning around on that center of mass. This is getting pretty brutal. I mean, Gigabyte's flying as well, but all that energy is also going into Venomstrike as well. There goes a fork out of the arena. Oh, but here's Venomstrike grabbing its tail from off of the ground. That's a very interesting tactic, running that into Gigabyte. And they'll go doing it again, trying to diffuse the energy of that spinner, trying to get Gigabyte to break itself. There it goes with a fork. Now that's gone. Venomstrike's starting to run out of forks in this arena. And there's another one. And that's immediately gone as well. But this is a very interesting strategy by Venomstrike. Use their scattered parts around the arena to try and break Gigabyte without risking too much damage themselves. And that's the best control that Venomstrike has had this entire match. Venomstrike is getting beaten down, but they are adapting as best as they can, making the best out of a tough situation right now. But is it going to be enough to win? Control is only one of 3 categories, and damage is certainly in the favor of Gigabyte, and aggression maybe about even. They're continuing to run at each other. Both of these machines just landing some absolutely brutal shots. So we crank out Gigabyte since he's the one still with a working weapon. Now Venomstrike has gone away from using that grabbing tail. I think it's just stuck against the wall. It's not really a great position to try and rip it out. And Gigabyte just landing more big shots. Like, again, they are holding up impressively well for this fight. And here comes Venomstrike with the tail again, finding the time to break it loose. But they just keep running into Gigabyte, and this fight's probably gonna go the distance. I mean, this is just not going well for Venomstrike at all. They are being that, but they are still alive. They are still technically. Oh my goodness! Gigabyte finds a breakthrough on the front of the chassis, but this fight will go to a judge decision. Venomstrike barely survives. Well, that's about as perfect of an opening sequence as you can get for Gigabyte, ripping off to right 2 forks, then the left 2, then the impact then the sheer impact of one of the hits broke off the grabbing tail of Venomstrike, and they were left without a weapon nor a way to defend themselves, and Gigabyte just landed some absolutely brutal shots from there, using the lightweight and relatively frictionless surface of Venomstrike's chassis to just throw it all around the arena, send it spinning. But Venomstrike, credit to them, managed to adapt and used its tail as a way of deflecting Gigabyte's shots. While they did get some points, I'd imagine, this way, and managed to do some damage to Gigabyte, I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, Venomstrike was just flying all around the arena, and there was really nothing they could do to fully stop it, and they even got a piece of their bot broken off at the end. The winner by 10-5 judge decision is Gigabyte. Our second fight sees Deep 6 take on Lucky. Two bots sitting at 1 and 2. Kind of surprising for Lucky considering they've made the tournament in the past 2 seasons. With Deep 6, they didn't make the tournament in Season 2, and they're looking for the 2-2 record here. Deep 6 certainly has the weapon power in order to knock out Lucky, but the reliability just has not been there this season. I wasn't really there last season in the first place. But anyways, but Lucky doesn't really have a way to take advantage of Deep 6's unreliability. I mean, they could get around to the sides, and if Deep 6 gets flipped or something, they could take advantage of that, but that's pretty difficult. Lucky's going to be a pretty short bot, and they can break pretty easily as well. One tile is holding the entire bot together, or at least functionally. A very interesting fight. The loser, of course, getting eliminated since both these bots are 1 and 2. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Oh, what a shot by Deep 6. If that had been closer to the wall, this fight would have been over already. Lucky takes an absolutely brutal shot from the vertical spinner, and Deep 6 continues its attack. Deep 6 trying to circle around Lucky again. There goes another shot. Oh, that didn't look good. That looked like it hit something wrong. Lucky gets underneath Deep 6 now and tries to get them out of the arena. They've almost done it, and this fight is over. Very unfortunate for Deep 6. They got that beautiful shot in the very first moments of the fight, but they never really got a big hit from that. Their weapon just hit something wrong, I guess. And Lucky was able to get underneath once, and that was all it took for Lucky to land a sequence to eliminate Deep 6. Fight number 3 sees Huge take on Talon. Huge on the verge of clinching its second tournament spot after its surprising win over Radical, while Talon on the verge of elimination. Talon, I think back in Season 1, fought Cobalt to keep their tournament record, chances of a tournament alive. And in Season 2, they did actually make the tournament. But they are up against a tough opponent in Huge. Talon's known for just sending bots flying, getting underneath the sending flying, but you can't really do that with Huge, and even if you do send it flying, it can absolutely take a couple hits. And even though it doesn't have the greatest weapon power, Talon is not the most durable bot in the field and cannot self-right. So Huge, all it really has to do is outlast Talon. Talon's going to have to hope for a miracle shot in order to get Huge in a position where they can be knocked out. Let's see if they can manage that down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Both bots spinning up their weapons, and Huge just rides right over Talon. That was barely any impact from one time, but they do land a shot there. Oh, jeez. Huge flies over Talon there. And oh my goodness, there goes the entire wedge and more off of Talon. I thought the wedges could come off never in one huge chunk like that. And that weapon seems to have stopped working as well. This is not looking good for Talon at all, and Huge looks perfectly fine and is happy to go face to face with Talon. Talon doesn't really have a choice, and that looks like it's gonna do it. Yep, Talon has been split in half. This fight is over. Well, there goes a piece of Talon flying. The countdown is on. This fight is over, and Huge has made it to the tournament.
Knockout.
Well, both bots were happy to go face to face to start, and Huge absolutely took the better of that. Talon's wedge came off, then its weapon broke, and then finally it got split apart. Huge never really one for flashy performances, but the second season in a row, it's delivered a decisive performance in its final fight to clinch a tournament spot. As for Talon, it will be eliminated from the tournament for this season. Next up, we got an unstoppable force taking on an immovable object as Cherry Blossom collides with Gruff. Both machines sit at 2 and 1, which means the winner clinches a tournament spot. Obviously, both these bots are very focused on their strengths. Cherry Blossom, of course, has one of the most powerful spinners in the entire field, also one of the heaviest, while Gruff is one of the most durable bots in the entire field. Well, Gruff does struggle with ground game, which Cherry Blossom can exploit with those forks, and Cherry Blossom's weapon reliability can also be a thing that Gruff exploits because of how tough it is. Let's see who wins this fight and clinches a tournament spot down the arena. Let the battle begin. Cherry Blossom's putting up, a great shot on Gruff. Kick things off. And another one. That big horizontal spinner getting the good shots in the start, but there, and that was something. I think that was a tooth off of Gruff. Yeah, that was definitely a tooth off of Gruff. But that's just cosmetic. It's going to count slightly towards damage for Cherry Blossom, but that is it. It's not going to really affect the performance of Gruff. Oh my goodness, Cherry Blossom gets completely flipped over by that shot and loses a fork in the process. Now they still have plenty of forks to get underneath Gruff with. And there goes another one. The defense is starting to get chipped away, and Gruff is absolutely eating these shots. There's a great use of the arena wall to slow down Cherry Blossom's weapon, try and break it down. Gruff, it doesn't look like it's in control, but they are doing exactly what they want to do. And now they actually manage to get Cherry Blossom in the screws, and a suplex. Gruff really in control now. But Cherry Blossom lands a counter shot. Enough of those shots could very well rip the lifter off of Gruff. But Gruff going back on the offensive again, trying to get Cherry Blossom into the screws for the second time. And they are really stuck on there. Gruff is starting to take control of this fight. Exceptional job from Gruff to start. Oh my goodness! There goes the lifter off of Gruff, and the bot has been flipped over. Oh my goodness, what a reversal of fortune. The countdown has started, and Cherry Blossom will be qualifying for the Season 3 tournament.
Knockout.
Well, very start looked like Cherry Blossom had a slight advantage. They were getting some decent shots on Gruff, taking off some minor pieces, but Gruff was able to take control for pretty much after that. Sure, they were taking a bunch of shots, but they're also eating away at Cherry Blossom's durability, flipping them over like with that shot there, and getting them into the screws as well. I mean, Gruff was just doing exactly what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, one unlucky shot. They got their lifter caught by that blade. It got ripped off, and they got flipped over. Even if they didn't have their lifter left, they would still been at least had a chance. That's if they were right side up, but unfortunately they got flipped and now have to face 2-2 purgatory, while Cherry Blossom, as a rookie, clinches its place in the tournament. Very unfortunate that that fate befell Gruff, but Cherry Blossom, I guess, kind of payback for Blip fight, I guess? Our fifth fight is a rematch from, I believe, Season 1, as Red Blow takes on Copperhead. Copperhead looking to clinch a tournament position for the second season in a row, while Red Blow looking to avoid getting eliminated here. Copperhead 2-1, Red Blow 1-2. And Red Blow's greatest strength has been that ungodly reliability, just being able to absorb every possible shot, and that's how he was able to outlast Copperhead the last time these two met. Took take the win then, and I think eliminated Copperhead. But Copperhead has had a major rebuild this season and is so much more reliable than it used to be. It lacks the weapon power it used to have in seasons past, but it can take a ton more punishment than bots like Storm and can survive a lot easier. So it's going to be a lot more difficult for Redblow to use typical stall strategy when Copperhead has a lot of longevity as well. Let's see who wins this fight down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Copperhead rips off a fork of Redblow early on. You know that wedge of Redblow is not all that durable. Copperhead, rips off the whole thing now. Not a good start for Redblow, but it's used to this. It can take removing the wedge, and then it can just survive now. We're already in the second phase of Redblow's game plan. But still not good that has to do so this early. Copperhead still has enough weapon power apparently to do that kind of damage early on. No, and Copperhead is sending Redblow flying. Like, these are some decent shots from that drone spinner. Obviously, they're not going to do too much damage. But Copperhead is taking control here. Oh my goodness, there goes the wedge off of Copperhead though. And suddenly this fight is looking a lot more in Redblow's favor. Redblow may be getting beaten to a pulp, but that's what it does best. It is starting to take back control of this fight. The wedge gone is the first step toward this, but Copperhead's still in control for now. Let's see how much longer that frame can last, because it can absolutely still fall apart. It's definitely not unbreakable, as we have seen before, but it is still doing incredibly well against Redblow here. Redblow really hasn't been able to get any offense going, but again, it doesn't matter as long as it can stay alive. But Copperhead scoops at Redblow and throws them in the pits. Well, Copperhead forced Redblow into survival mode early, ripping off that wedge very early on, getting underneath. Great ground game from Copperhead there. And after that, it was just complete domination from Copperhead. Even when they lost their wedge, they were landing brutal shots, flipping Redblow all over, not allowing them any moments. They did not make any driving mistakes during that fight that allowed Redblow to get control at any point. And they just beat Redblow up until they had the right opportunity to throw them into the pit. That was just an absolute masterclass from Copperhead, even though they did lose their wedge. They just took control of that entire fight, and they are now 3-1, meaning their place in the tournament is guaranteed. And with that kind of win at the final battle, that will do wonders for their seeding. As for Redblow, power creep is starting to catch up to them, and they sit at 1-3, officially eliminated from this Season 3 tournament. For our penultimate fight, we see the winless Extinguisher trying to play Spoil Sport to the 1 and 2 Hammerhead. Both of these bots made the round of 16 last season, and both have really fallen off since Extinguisher not getting a win since its round 32 win over Redblow, while Hammerhead has only had 1 win. I mean, I can see Trenching of all bots, but it still only has 1 win. And so this is tough for both bots. Extinguisher, they're already eliminated, so they're just planning to try and get Hammerhead out, because if Hammerhead loses, they will be officially eliminated. But if they can find a way to go 2-2, they can salvage something out of the season, maybe even make it to the playoffs. Hammerhead absolutely has the weapon power to destroy Extinguisher, but if Extinguisher can just get underneath quickly and throw Hammerhead into the pit, they could easily win this fight. Let's see what happens down the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Extinguisher gets underneath Hammerhead, pushes them into his spot. Oh my goodness, the fight is over. Hammerhead fires back just once with that hammer, and Extinguisher falls to 0-4. And with that, Hammerhead keeps its tournament hopes alive. They sit at 2-2, but who knows what's going to happen, and they might not make it at all still. And now our main event. 2 of the biggest horizontal spinners in the entire field. I mean, 2 of the biggest spinners in just general. Bloodsport and Nemesis. The channel mascot sits at 2-1. They lost their first fight to Tantrum, but have bounced back with dominant wins over Biohazard and Redblow, while Bloodsport has maintained its undefeated streak defeating bots like Monochrome, Hypershock, and Talon, and to claim its 3-0 record. Bloodsport's already qualified for the tournament, but they will clinch a top 6 seed if they win this fight, while Nemesis is fighting for a tournament spot, so there's a lot more on the line for them. It's all going to come down to who can withstand the bigger hits. Nemesis, we have seen it take a ton of shots. We've seen it go the full 3 minutes with some of the most dangerous bots in the competition several times. I mean, Monochrome, especially last season, one of the most brutal fights, one of the best fights of Season 2, while Bloodsport has some more reliability issues, but they're still a pretty tough bot, especially compared to some of the bots that these two have faced. Who will survive? Who will survive when these two massive spinners go head-to-head? Let's find out down the arena. Let the main event begin. Both bots spin up, and a great shot to start things off. Bloodsport, as they got the advantage. Bloodsport sent flying in that exchange, and there's a third shot sending Bloodsport tottering. You can already see his cracks are from. Oh my goodness, this fight is over. Bloodsport has been split into 3 parts.
10,
Nemesis
9,
is
8,
indeed
7,
the true
6,
spinner
5,
king.
4,
What a
3,
performance.
2, 1, knockout.
With that win, both bots now sit at 3-1, with Nemesis clinching its 3rd tournament spot in a row. And this was just very quick, just like 4 shots, and Bloodsport was split apart. They tried to alternate back and forth, try and keep playing together, but it was too much. Nemesis was just too much for Bloodsport, and they were ripped apart.